A little tub.
Yeah. There you go.
Nice tub.
That's a decent fish there. Oh yeah.
I'd say it was a nice tub.
That was a nice fish. So happy to see that. So behind me, the cut empties into a big pond and there's grass all around there. So this whole area is full of grass. And David just caught that 16-incher kind of off the grass line on that one side. This cut has a deep channel of about 10 to 12 feet. And then there's a transition section, and then that leads to the pond. And right now there's a section of the pond that's surrounded by grass, which forms a kind of pool. Let's call that the first success of the new Lowrance Elite Sonar with the side imaging. As we came into this cut, I'd been looking for fish. Now I don't have much experience in this. I have like no experience. But I watched some videos on YouTube about what fish would look like on the sonar. We didn't see anything that looked like it. We didn't see anything. We went past the wall, didn't see anything there. Came into this cut, drove to the end here, and boom, we're seeing what looks like fish on the sonar. And that's already the second fish that Dave has brought in today. So I'll call that a success. There's an interesting backstory here. This is a spot that I've fished before. In fact, I'll link to another video of mine which was filmed in this cut. And I have most often found that here the speckled trout feed from the end of the channel section. Today we came in through the cut with our trolling motor, and initially the sonar showed fish. But the fish disappeared off the sonar almost immediately. We worked the entire channel section hard. We jigged the bottom, worked the surface with corks, and we didn't even get a bite. It wasn't until we moved out into the shallow pool that we started catching trout. There you go, another keeper. Oh, yeah.
Well, you hit that one. Looking at it.
So, man, David's having a lot of success with his cork doo-doo shrimp. I'm gonna try the shrimp Creole. Decent one that time. Oh yeah.
That's a good trout. Come on. Easy, David.
Oh, that's a beauty. There's currently no current at all. This is completely dead. So we're catching trout in completely dead water. Now they are only responding to a cork. They didn't respond to a jerk bait or a swim bait on a jig head. It's mid-morning. There's no current and there's bright sunlight. This is not good feeding conditions for trout, and I wouldn't fish in these conditions in shallow ponds. So why are we catching trout here? I think this is what happened. We spooked the trout out of the channel and into the pond. In there, the persistent slapping of our corks in the shallow water fooled the trout into thinking that there was feeding going on. Oh yeah, pretty fish.
That was so pretty.
Look at that. Yeah, it's a pretty trout. If our presence did push the fish out of the channel, why this time and not other times? Of course, I can't know beyond a doubt what happened, but I love to theorize, so I'll take a shot at an explanation. I think that the low wind and lack of current flow made for very quiet conditions in the water. So when we came cruising in with the whirring electric motor, talking and walking around in the boat, we were the loudest thing in the trout's environment. This caused them to leave the channel and hide along the grass. I don't hear people talking about it much in South Louisiana, but I know that speckled trout can be negatively affected by noisy fishermen. If you follow the guys wade fishing along the Gulf Coast, you will know that they catch some very big trout. One of their claims is that wade fishing lets them be stealthy, and that gives them an advantage when targeting trophy trout. These are all, that's a nice fish, huh?
Yes. Red. Nice red, a nice slot red, John.
Oh, it's a red, okay. Oh yeah,
Nice
beautiful
slot.
fish. I had another experience a few years ago in a bayou near Golden Meadow, and I believe that was an example of speckled trout responding to the presence of boats. I was anchored in a bayou near the inlet to a pond. I was occasionally catching trout in the bayou, but that changed dramatically when another boat worked its way up the bayou toward me. They were moving along with their trolling motor and fishing as they came. But when they got near me, my speckled trout bite went from a walk to a gallop. It was a fish on every cast, and they were all coming from the section of bayou between our boats. I felt very strongly at the time that the best explanation was that the other boat had herded the trout down to me. Coincidentally, I was recently talking with the manager of Hopedale Marina, and he told me of several spots where he catches big trout. But for each spot, he emphasized the importance of a stealthy approach to the spot, even to the point of using a push pole instead of a trolling motor. And if you're not convinced yet, have you ever fished midweek when there were a lot fewer boats out, and you come away thinking that the trout bite was a lot better than on Saturdays? I know I have. I'm going to start factoring in the potential benefit of stealth for each spot I fish, and take action if I conclude that the spot needs stealth. If you're a fisherman, I don't need to tell you that there's a lot of what goes on out there that's not directly observable to us. So what do? Make theories. And I think it's actually a very valuable exercise. They're going to be based on what we can observe in our past experiences, and then just try them out. See if they fly on the next trip or any other time in the future. So, did I hit any truth here in my theorizing? As always, thanks for watching. Appreciate the views. And let me know whether you like this kind of video or not. I'm putting out content regularly, so if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. You can get my stuff as it comes out. So good luck out there, and don't scare the fish.